Berlanga versus Benavidez. Acton Boxing for attribution here. Look, it occurs to me, Benavidez is calling guys out. Berlanga is calling guys out. Neither has really proven themselves on a world-class level. Certainly Benavidez more than Berlanga. We have questions about both, but oh my God, are these two must-see TV? Both undefeated. They knock everybody out. So I decided to call around the industry and see what people thought about that matchup. Well, bombs away, says Dan Rayfield for years here at ESPN. How about this? Whose right hand lands first? I'll bet it's Berlanga's, said Top Rank, Berlanga's promoter, Carl Moretti. Half proven but interesting versus unproven but must see, says my longtime broadcast partner and the voice of boxing for decades, the great Jim Lampley. This is the kind of fight, if it were ever made, if it was made tomorrow, where you don't get off the couch. You lost a belt on the scale.
What scale? He lost his belt on a scale that weighs grams, you know what I'm saying? And he lost his belt, your body scale.
And you've apologized for it, you took responsibility for it. You are a big 168-pounder. So how much longer do you think? I know the money fights are at 68, but is that really where you're best? And how much longer do you think you can make the weight?
So, but I think I could be in here for, maybe 2 more years.
David, you said a Jamal Charlo fight would be more exciting than a fight against Caleb Plant. What about Edgar Berlanga, David Benavidez? What's your thought about Edgar Berlanga?
I think Edgar Berlanga is an amazing fighter. I think he's a very strong fighter, but it'll be a big fight for Mexico and Puerto Rico. I feel like I'll beat Edgar Berlanga. So whenever he's ready to come take that fight, I'm all right here. I'm ready to take that fight whenever. So tell him to let me know when he wants to make that fight, and we'll make it happen.
It's an amazing fight, man. Benavidez, a great fight for me. But before I get to them, I got to prove myself. I got to get in there and get some rounds in, and prove myself to the critics, not just them, but for myself.
David, if you had your way, you could map out your future, your next 3 fights. What would it be?
So the first one would be against Charlo, the second one would be against Caleb Plant, and then the third fight ultimately would be against Canelo. I feel like those fights in that order, would be amazing just for my career and, just for the world of boxing as well. I feel like this is excitement we need in the super middleweight division. Well, at the end of the day, it's just you have to have more than one different style, or you have to have a different styles, so you have to apply a lot of pressure, do a lot of body work, and cut off the ring. Obviously, if you're going to fight a boxer, he's not going to want to give you the time of day, to stay in there and bang with you. So, you have to do certain things to cut him off, make him run into shots. So I work with a lot of boxers. I work with a lot of brawlers. So whatever style presents itself on fight night, I'm going to be ready for it. It's my job to adapt and be ready for anything.
What renders fights unviable, other than promoters and networks' own short-term interests, is when fighters don't really want to make that fight happen.
Oh, shout out for Gay Rosado. We probably gonna make a fight happen, man, for the people. For Puerto Rican Day weekend, we probably make something happen. Me and Gay, no harsh feelings or none of that with him. At the end of the day, it's about the fans, and make good fights happen. Everybody always saying, oh, he ain't fight nobody. Listen, relax. Next year, we stepping up competition.
Let me school you real quick, huh? So I put the white hair on so I can, wisdom. With white hair comes wisdom. All right, fuck, what was I talking about? If it's not one thing, it's another. Yes. Charlo, the easiest fight of the 3 that he named. He's been talking a lot of smack. That's a big seller. It would sell big time. Mexican American versus African American or Black American, whatever. Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez has not been made because the promoter Samson wants to milk that fight and build it up. But hey, that time done passed, man. He already lost the belt twice. And things are going to happen. And what they want to do is they want to cater to the casual fan. That's it. They want to build it up to the casual fan. Man, we have enough hardcore boxing fans in a community, man, to make that a live fight. There's a lot of times I'll tell people about fights and they don't know who anybody is, you know? Both these cats ain't proved anything and they need to face each other. Anyway, if he does fight Plant after Canelo beats him, I still want to see it. There's no, just because he lost to Canelo doesn't devalue his Plant's worth or devalue this fight's worth, you know? Because it's still there, you know? The animosity's still there, the skill, the talent, the hate, and I mean, it'll just fuel it even more. So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that. And if he beats Plant, let's say he beats him better than Canelo did, and then that fight, that'll build up that fight for him to fight Canelo. And like Canelo said, if there's a big fight to be made, then we'll make it. But first things first, I'm getting everybody with the belt. Like you said, it's not just the promoters, it's not just the networks, because the businesses are going to work together, period. It don't matter. The money makers are going to work together to make that money, right? But when you have guys like, say, Jermell Charlo come out and said that he's blackballing or blackcarding Demetrius Andre because he doesn't like him, so he's never going to fight him, that makes no sense. So he's not going to get any fights. You're not going to fight. You hate the guy so much that you're not going to fight him. But he's right about that. If the fighters don't want to fight, you'll never see the fight. Look at Earl Spence, how he's doing Terrence Crawford, right? He'd rather go up there and fight Canelo and lose for big money. He'd rather, because that's an excuse like, oh, he's bigger than me, he's more experienced than me, he's this and that. That's a loss you can accept, right? That's like, hey, Canelo was 23 years old when he fought Floyd? 23 years old. That's a year older than Berlanga here, and was fighting the face of boxing, right? Fighting the number one guy, while this guy's fighting, ranked his last fight with Ulises Sierra, ranked 160? You know, same thing when you look at the Charlo records, man. You look at their box rec, 400, 200, 100, 600, like ridiculous. Some are not even ranked, you know. And yes, Fiend.